you. Ask anyone on the panel to comment. Is there serious discussion in Taiwan of developing an independent nuclear weapons capacity? And would they have the capacity to do so within a few years?
I think the answer is absolutely no. Taiwan did have a fairly robust nuclear weapons research campaign in the 1970s, and again right up until January of 1988. And it probably, if they had been successful, we wouldn't be discussing this now. But both the major political parties in Taiwan, I think, are adamant against any such thing now. The ruling party is called the Chinese Nationalist Party, and it supports Taiwan's eventual reunification with China. The opposition party, the Democratic Progressive Party, is adamantly anti-nuclear. So there's
Thank you.
no,
I'd like to go on to another question.
Well, I would like to add to that, if I may.
But I'm
they
sorry,
don't have the strategic depth to confront China with nuclear weapons.
Well, I'd like to move on to another question. I understand we have a toxic trade relationship with China, $300 billion trade deficit. What that means is they send us $300 billion of stuff every year, and we send them $300 billion worth of paper. I can understand why Americans like this. It's it produces huge profits, helps consumers, and with this ideology of free trade, we can simply ignore that the Chinese government controls import decisions, not through tariffs but through other means, and so it fits our theoretical model of the way the world should work. So that provides us with an intellectual underpinning to support the huge profits and the wonderful stuff we get. What I don't understand is China. Every year they ship us $300 billion worth of fine things, and they get bonds. Can anyone here explain the bond fetish of the People's Republic of China?
Well, I personally can. I can say that our Commission's reports over a series of about 4 years and a number of hearings that we've held make it pretty clear that the United States Treasuries market and bond market remains still the most stable place to park that money and to get it back, and that the undervalued currency and the continued undervaluation of that currency is based on the ownership of those treasuries.
Yeah, I can understand that if you're going to save money, U.S. Treasury bonds are a wonderful place to put it. What I don't understand is why a developing country insists upon saving several $100 billion a year rather than importing. Let me move on to another question. Germany has a balanced trade relationship with China. So we could reach the conclusion that German workers and entrepreneurs are better than their counterparts in the United States, or that the foreign policy establishment in Germany is doing a better job for the German people than the foreign policy establishment in our country. How has Germany conditioned access to its market on fair access for its exporters to China? Well, Dr. Wirth, or anyone else who has one.
Well, I don't know the answer to that, but I can tell you from having dealt with German defense and high technology firms and their relationships with China, they take a very different approach to transferring technology. They recognize it'll be stolen. They don't worry about sales and transfers, but what they do is take already outmoded technology for them and manufacturing and are quite willing to sell it and transfer with the idea that their research and development is far ahead.
Does anyone else have a view as to why Germany is able to have a balanced trade relationship with China?
Well, the Germans have a robust industrial infrastructure. They produce very good.
So do we.
Well, I don't know if we do anymore. I think that in the last 10 years, I think.
So you would blame the the American worker and manufacturing
Well,
companies.
I would blame
rather than the foreign
I would
policy
blame a
establishment.
political decision in China not to buy American goods. I would point out that while we have a $300 billion trade deficit with China, China basically, all told, has a $100 billion trade surplus. So they are using American money to buy other people's goods and other people's resources and commodities. And the amount of, it seems to be a conscious economic decision on the part of China not to buy American.
Thank you.
I agree.
Thank you very much. Mr. Royce is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chairman.